Oh boy.
All right. Doesn't look like anybody's out there just yet. That's fine with me. All right.
Every morning the world starts quietly, one soft light at a time. Homes flicker awake, shops open. People take those first small steps into a brand new day. And in all of that ordinary movement, there's something kind of extraordinary. A moment worth noticing, a spark you feel before you even name it. Sometimes it's quiet, sometimes it's small, but kindness shows up right on time. And every morning we choose to show up with you so we can look for that spark together.
Good morning. I'm Matt Roof, the Uncommon Kindness Guy, and this is Kindness Rising. Let's rise together.
Alrighty. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Kindness Rising. I'm a little bit off here, but it's all right. We are talking about this morning, the power of tiny habits and what happens, I guess, when you get off your tiny habits. No. Yes. The small, steady rituals that shape who we become far more than the big dramatic moments ever could. That's the truth. And to get there, we're going to pull wisdom from two very different worlds. One from the cozy calm of Mr. Fred Rogers changing into a sweater, and one from the bright lights of the Golden Globes, where a tiny category change might have just signaled something massive for creators like us. Two tiny actions, a sweater, and a headline, both pointing to the same truth. Small steps build big momentum. So let's dive in.
This is Kindness Rising.
All right. I am so glad you have chosen to come here to Kindness Rising this morning. I'm Matt Roos, the Uncommon Kindness Guy, and I come here every weekday morning, 7:30 a.m. to talk about kindness, to talk about what we are doing every day to get up and get after it and have a meaningful, purposeful, driven life filled with kindness and positivity. And today we're talking about tiny habits. Nothing in life really happens all of a sudden. Nothing in life really happens all of a sudden. It feels sudden, but it never really is. Even Ernest Hemingway wrote about it. Actually, he wrote about it in The Sun Also Rises. When a character is asked how he went bankrupt, what did he say? Two ways: gradually, then suddenly. It's happening, whether you know it or not, or whether you're self aware or not. Things are happening, changes are happening gradually, but then they feel all of a sudden. Many examples of this throughout the world. I had a sudden heart attack. No, you didn't have a sudden heart attack. You had 50 years of plaque building up in your arteries, right? You didn't have a sudden heart attack. Gradually, then eventually. And that's how most things unfold in our life. Momentum builds quietly in the background through small actions repeated almost unnoticed, and then all of a sudden something happens, a breakthrough, and it feels all of a sudden, even though it was building the whole time. So today I want to flip that idea onto its head with intention. Sometimes things feel all of a sudden because we weren't intentional about the little steps, and then it happened. And you're like, holy crap, that was all of a sudden. No, it wasn't. It was building. Well, we can do that intentionally by doing something every day to build a habit stacking. We talk about it here before. We'll keep talking about it. But if we choose one tiny habit, repeat it over and over again until it feels natural, and then stack another on top of it, and another and another. Sounds boring, but that is the way change works. And it works even better when you're intentional about it, not from big heroic efforts, but from quiet, intentional patterns, that slowly and then suddenly turn into who you are, who your identity is, how things have changed for you. Tiny steps don't just move you forward, they can turn you into someone new for sure. Welcome to Kindness Rising. I appreciate everyone who is out there. Yes, we were ready for the red carpet, Roseanne. We're going to be talking about the Golden Globes. Reem Al-Sidi and Hatem. Yeah. Oh, Shoddy. I read that wrong. Shoddy, sup? Danny, so glad you're in here, buddy. Appreciate that you come out. Danny Maldonado coming out. And of course, Sully's here. The theme of this episode is integral. Integral? Integral. I don't know. You guys know what I mean. Essential, vital for self-improvement. Absolutely. Absolutely. You got to get out of the mindset that it's going to happen all of a sudden too. Oh, one day, someday it'll happen. It's Sunday. No, it happens one step at a time. Danny, go grab your coffee. I've got mine. I know what it's like. Tiny steps, just tiny little steps to go get my coffee. All right, Danny, that's awesome. Oh, yeah. I took tiny little steps getting here too. Little one of those mornings again, but that's all right. It's just making little changes along the way, and that's what it is. You make those little changes, and it feels kind of awkward and weird when you're in a rhythm, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So let's get into our Be Kind Rewind if you guys want. I'd love to hear more from you in the chat. Are there tiny steps you're taking right now to improve, to make a better life? Danny Maldonado took tiny steps back here. Appreciate you. So what are you doing to take tiny little steps to turn yourself into someone new or to be intentional? Or are there tiny little steps you haven't been paying attention to that you have been taking? And maybe you need to think about different steps. That's okay. Danny, it seems like a Monday. Oh no, don't take me back. I already got through Monday. I don't want to do it again. All right. Anyway, Mr. Rogers, although that's okay because Monday is Tuesday because we get into, right? It can feel like a Monday because it's a Tuesday because every day is a day, right? When we get up. That's right. All right. Mr. Rogers, sweater ritual. Yes. Every episode of Mr. Rogers. I'm sure there are people out there who know Fred Rogers, not just from his message, but we all know his sweater rituals, his changing of his shoes, his little quirks. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Lord Alcatraz. Welcome in, Lord Alcatraz. It wasn't meant to his stuff, it wasn't meant to impress anyone. It wasn't. It was just meant to center him, to signal that space mattered, moving from one step to the next, from one space to the next, leaving work, coming home, whatever that is, the intention of entering the room to say, I am here right now. And that's what rituals do for us. They create predictability, calm, and identity. One tiny habit repeated daily becomes a powerful force for stability and momentum. Bottle Pros, what's up, Declan? Nice to meet you. I look like Skippy? Which Skippy? Are you talking about Skippy from Family Ties? That would be hysterical if you were Lord Alcatraz. Is that who you are talking about? God, I hadn't thought about Skippy from Family Ties in a while. See that? Thanks for bringing it back to me. All right, cool. Sensei Whiskers, he's also the kind of guy who likes rituals, I think. Let's see what he has to say today.
Small rituals create steady momentum.
Yes, one small ritual at a time. I prefer naps.
Alrighty then. Sensei Whiskers prefers naps. I've got a weird looking sweater. It's all good. Yeah, so absolutely tiny steps, one tiny step at a time. He brought his mom on a date. That's funny. I don't know. Tell me about it. Tell me about who brought his mom on a date. Mark Kempf. Nice to see you, buddy. I am glad to see that you are coming back. Come back whenever you can. Absolutely. Wake up and be grateful for or thankful for three things. My bad, you just look like him. I know. Scott Jessup. All right, I'll have to find out who that is. All right. Absolutely. I don't know what Scott Jessup's deal is, Lord Alcatraz, but hey, I'll find out. I'm always curious. I just appreciate that you came here and are spending your time getting involved in the channel with guys like Mark Kempf and Mike Sullivan and Danny Maldonado and Roseanne and Shoddy and the whole crew who like to show up and have some positivity, some morning momentum, a little bit of fun in their day. We don't talk about, well, can talk about stuff, but our vibe is not one of rage bait or of exclusion. That's the word I'm looking for. My brain is not quite there yet, but the coffee isn't quite hitting yet. But we are all about inclusion here. We are all about everybody who wants to be kind and wants to have fun and interest and share whatever it is. Don't be shy to share. That's how we build a community, because that's what we're doing here. A community of people who show up at 7:30 a.m. Eastern live every day. Absolutely. All right. So what's this thing about the Golden Globes? Anybody got opinions, thoughts about the Golden Globes? I will put my context to this a little bit with, I haven't seen much of what's been nominated. I have to just be honest with you. We almost watched Frankenstein the other day. I just don't consume that much content anymore, that much. And when I do, it's usually honestly, right nowadays, it's just been like a lighthearted whatever movie on a Friday night just to veg out. Just haven't. I've been reading and that kind of thing, but that doesn't help for the Golden Globes. But anyway, what was interesting to me for sure about the Golden Globes this year is they've included a category for podcasts. You guys know that. Some may not. Yes. One of the oldest, most traditional award shows, although not quite as traditional as Oscars, so that would be whatever, but just added podcasts as an official media category. That's pretty interesting. That's pretty big, right? On the surface, it's kind of a small headline. Okay, some people making podcasts and they're gonna get an award from each other. Woohoo! Yeah, we made. That's what I think about award shows sometimes. Most of the time, actually. But it is a signal, right? It is a signal of something that underneath it, yeah. What are podcasts essentially, and what are we doing here? Creator-led storytelling. It isn't fringe anymore. It is the media, right? So if podcasts are being recognized, live streaming is what could be, is coming next. It's not what could be. It is what's coming next. As a matter of fact, the podcast space is full of noise, but the live streaming space is wide open. So we're doing right here on the Mornings in the Lab Network exactly what the media industry is waking up to, which is showing up, being present in real time, being consistent, building a community, all the things that build your identity one tiny habit at a time. It can't be replaced. It can't be faked. And they're recognizing it as the world is recognizing it as what is the media of the future. Here's the interesting thing, though, as I've started doing this, I've started talking to more and more creators out there in the world, and they talk about being scared to go live for what I know the reasons. I actually know the reasons, but the point is, if you've gone live even once, you're already ahead of the rest of the world. And then now was what I'm doing. I'm practicing the skill that the world is already shifting towards, and that's why the Mornings in the Lab network matters. All right, because that's what we're all doing. We're all doing it together, showing up as a ritual. Even in the chat, not just to get people who are creating like myself, like Keith Billis, like a new friend who will be joining us real soon, talking about joy. Absolutely. Cheryl Whitaker will be joining us. We're looking to help her. We've been talking about things. If you've been over to Mornings in the Lab Network and follow Mornings in the Lab show, you will know Cheryl. And she'll be joining us here on Kindness Rising too at some point for sure. It's amazing. So show up, practice the ritual. That's what we do here at Kindness Rising every day. Every day. Okay. I'm falling off of my chair. It's funny. All right. So yesterday I dropped the link for the fourth wall for the merch store. Talked about the hat. That's the green corduroy hat. I'm gonna drop the merch store again if anybody else is interested too. The bandana is out there too if you want one for your dog or whatever. But I promised that I would show you some of the merch. I think it's awesome. I'm excited to wear it. And I just have to find the link to drop it to you. Bang. I think it's out there. Anyway, absolutely. What's everybody up to today? What are the small steps that you are out there taking today? Small steps that build the momentum for your day. What are you doing? What are the things? Mine is, it's easy for me to talk about this coming live here, but it's not easy for me to talk about what I used to be like, how I dreaded waking up in the morning, how I snoozed 7 times before I got up and whatever. So this has become another thing for me, which has been accountability, right? Having some form of an accountability. I'm accountable to this community. I'm accountable to myself to show up. It's been an added benefit for me for sure. So even when I forget to turn my phone ringer off. All right. That was my sister, which was nice to hear from her. So yeah, kindness spotlight. You know, I didn't really research a spotlight today, but I do know there are lots of organizations out there that are leaning into this idea of a single step forward. There are lots of them, and that's what we're here for. We're here to help organizations, people who are doing good work to amplify their voice, to multiply kindness and unlock growth for everyone who's interacting in the ecosystem, whether that's myself. I'll start with myself completely selfishly. I'm starting with myself. Yeah. No, I'm starting with myself. It absolutely benefits me, right? There's benefits, I hope, for you. And because you're a good person trying to do good work, right? And benefits for organizations that we can promote. We want to all grow. We want to grow together. as an ecosystem, even when we knock the merch off the table. Oh my goodness, it's been a morning. All right. Taking another breath. Tanya Bowers, good morning. Good morning. Welcome in. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining here at Kindness Rising.
If you like honesty with a side of chaos, hit subscribe! It's the closest thing we've got to career stability.
All right. Cal and Stan are still out there. I think that's where they've been the past couple of days, is maybe out on a fundraiser / membership drive to grab subscribers for Kindness. They've been kind of MIA, but Sensei Whiskers is still here with us, and he will never stop being part of our lives.
Say, what actually brings people back together?
Shared moments. That's why we rise together on Kindness Rising.
Feels right.
It is.
I don't know what it is about that tiny little meow there that he does at the end, but it makes me smile every time. Every time. Just, yeah. So we're talking about tiny habits. Tiny habits today. Tiny habits that you can try. Tiny habits that we can do together to make our lives just a little bit less chaotic, a little bit more balanced, a little more self-aware of things, a little more kind to ourselves and kind to others. And here are 4 tiny habits that you can try today. How about a 1-minute tidy? Reset one small space. My thing the past few days has been pick one task that's been just sitting there. It's just what I'm doing. Unfortunately, here's a little vulnerability. I have a habit of collecting little things, like ridiculous amounts, and then I have to drag them out, pull them out. For instance, these glasses. I buy them 3 at a pack at a pair, 3 packs of them, at Big Lots or whatever the stores are around. And I've just been collecting them. They scatter all over, and eventually they make their way into a pile. And I'm like, what am I doing with this? So I just sorted through all these glasses. That was one task I did one day. Last night, it was my hats. I have hats that have memories to them from a long time back that I wore at a specific time or bought at a specific event or a brand or whatever. And my hat collection is just getting out of control. So I pulled them all out, threw them on the bed, and I said, I am dealing with this. It took 10 minutes. Anyway, so it wasn't a 1-minute tidy. Maybe it was a 10-minute tidy, but you get the point. Take one intentional pause. It doesn't have to be 10 minutes. It can be as long as you want it to be, but just breathe before you react. Intentional. That's what I do when I kind of pause and go quiet. All right, I'm just going to be intentional for a second. Bring it back. One act of gratitude. Of course, that's always the answer. Gratitude is one of the answers. It's an answer to kindness by expressing your gratitude. Message someone who matters. Say thank you to someone who helped you out along the way. And lastly, how about one micro creation? Just doodle something. Maybe you'll say, I'm going to write 2 lines of a poem or whatever. Make something small. Find something to draw, create something in the kitchen. Absolutely. Just do something, the tiny things that add up. They're not meant to impress. They're just meant to build momentum for yourself. In other words, just take some action. I think we talked about this before recently. Just don't just, what do they say? Don't just do something. Don't just do something. Act, or don't just stop. I don't remember how it says, but basically the point is do something. You could sit and ruminate all your life around things. I know I have wasted hours and days of my lives thinking about if I could do this someday, I'll do that. What if I, that kind of thing. But I am definitely not living that way anymore. So that's it. So welcome and thank you. Actually, goodbye and thank you. We are winding down here on Kindness Rising, and we're gonna get on over to Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends as they get up and get after it this morning on the Mornings in the Lab network. If you're interested in the Mornings in the Lab network, don't forget to reach out to me. I'm Matthew Roof, the Uncommon Kindness Guy. Subscribe to Kindness Rising channel for sure, and check us out, and make sure you come back and meet us every weekday morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern on Kindness Rising. Thank you so much for spending time with us. And Keith's subject today, for those who are interested, is he's getting deeper into the new update in ChatGPT 5.2. And every time something comes up, what's always the first response? Where's people's heads? Wow, my job just got obsolete. Wow, I just got to save some time. I have to believe that 5.2 is going to probably do much of the same. And I'm sure Keith, who's definitely in tune to that and on the cutting edge of those kinds of things, will be sharing insights about that. So get on over, see Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends, and learn more about ChatGPT's evolution. And here's your reminder for today. Your life is shaped far more by the small things you repeat than the big things you attempt. Tiny habits build identity. Identity builds momentum, and momentum builds the future you're trying to create. Choose one small ritual today. Let it carry you forward. And as always, stay uncommon and stay kind. I'll see you tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. here on Kindness Rising.